Avoid sharing your issues with everyone, since majority are indifferent, while a minority rejoice in them. Rather than seeking the good in individuals, focus on finding genuinely good individuals. You need to take actions that are beneficial to you, since no one else is in your situation. Being more grateful attracts more things to be grateful for. Don't let a rough day give you the impression that your entire life is terrible. Every moment you devote to comparing your existence to someone else's is a moment squandered from your own. You can make yourself a doormat for people to tread on, yet they will still say you're not flat enough. When contemplating life, bear in mind that no sense of guilt can alter the past, and no level of worry can shape the future. Everyone in your life serves as a teacher. Some bring lessons of love and support. Others provide guidance on what to avoid. You witness a person's genuine nature when you no longer offer them any advantages. Avoid rushing into marriage because you feel it's an obligation. It isn't. Spend as much time as you deem necessary, expressing your affection to those who are most important to you, and do it often. If you have never questioned your decisions, it means you have not yet taken any significant risks. Be aware that not all individuals who assert they are behind you actually are. Instead of just listening to what they say, analyze their behavior. No matter how much affection you show someone, you can't force that person to return the feelings. Be thoughtful about what you say, because once words are spoken, their effect can be forgiven, but not undone. Above all, do not let anyone who has hurt you make you doubt your own value. Don't devalue yourself if others fail to recognize your worth. Know your value, regardless of their opinion. If you are always giving up what you truly want for immediate satisfaction, you are setting yourself up for perpetual disappointment. Being single and at peace is far preferable to being in a relationship that brings you misery. Sometimes saying no and dealing with subsequent feelings of guilt is necessary. Often, the hardest choice is the correct one. What you do in the present can have a significant impact on all your future days. Life has a way of repeating certain situations until the necessary lesson has been learned. It's not your anger that punishes you, but the consequences of that anger itself. Sometimes, being correct doesn't really matter. Never underestimate the influence of the people with whom you spend your time. There's no correct choice for certain scenarios, so you just have to make a decision and then endeavor to make it the right one. Living in constant fear of making a mistake is the biggest error you can commit. Learn to find happiness in solitude. Needing company for feeling happy will make you vulnerable. You're not accountable for others' expectations from you. Not all thoughts need to be vocalized. There are certain unwanted events in life that we have to accept. Unpleasant facts we need to learn. And dear ones we can't afford to lose, but must let go, regardless of who attempts to impart life lessons to you. You won't grasp them until you personally experience it. You can always reinvent yourself and become the individual you genuinely aspire to be, starting right this moment. Frequently, those who demand the most from you contribute the least in return. Remember, never to compromise on three aspects: your family, your feelings, or your self-respect. Maintain a forward-looking perspective rather than dwelling on the past. It is not always individuals who change, but sometimes the facade that is dropped. Show courtesy to everyone, irrespective of whether they deserve it, as it reflects on your character, not theirs. When you are unable to solve a problem, it might not be an issue that needs solving, but a reality that needs accepting. Lessons persist until they are learned. Steer clear of making permanent choices based on transient feelings. There are times when it is advisable to let go of certain individuals, as challenging as it may be. Some people simply do not add value. Try to comprehend an individual's personality not only by their deeds, but also by their responses, as it's tricky to falsify a reaction. The way others behave towards you mirrors their persona, not yours. Their persona, not yours. Errors imply that you are attempting and making progress. Love is not the sole ingredient for a thriving, sustainable relationship. Honest and fearless communication is notably crucial, regardless of the complexity of the discussion. Every incident in life imparts lessons. One just needs to be open to learning. A man's resilience to adversity is a reliable gauge of his character. If you idolize someone, it essentially forces them to look downwards at you. Each ache can make you stronger. Each deception can make you smarter. Every letdown can boost your skills, and each experience can make you wiser. When you tie the knot, every positive and negative aspect of your relationship is amplified. You shape how others act towards you. Things seldom improve in your life unless you make changes. Brutally honest conversations can sometimes be hidden blessings. Let go and allow life to empower you, even if it's painful. Keep your chin up and keep moving forward. Sometimes, not getting what you wanted can be a blessing in disguise. The more self-love you have, the less you'll need approval from others. Just because you're being skilled at keeping others' confidential information does not guarantee they will do the same for you. Quite frequently, personal growth is more necessary than a change in surroundings. It's feasible to make no errors and still not succeed. This isn't a flaw, it's just life. Serenity starts the moment you decide not to let someone else or a situation dictate your feelings. If someone is able to anger you, they have effectively defeated you. There can't be advancement or accomplishment without giving something up, and a person's worldly success corresponds to what they're willing to sacrifice. We move forward in life once we release our fears. A determined man will always find a way to get what he wants, whereas a man who doesn't won't. He'll find an excuse. Some people will not like you, no matter how hard you try to win their favor. You have to take chances sometimes, and although it can be scary and outside your comfort zone, you'll never know what could have been unless you go for it. People give you advice based on their perspective. The greater danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our aim too low, and achieving our mark be a reflection of what you'd like to receive. If you want love, give love. If you want truth, be truthful. If you want respect, give respect. What you give out will always return. Never speak from a place of hate, jealousy, anger, or insecurity. Evaluate your words before you let them leave you. Lips, you only get one body, take care of it. You'll have it all your life, and while it is incredibly resilient, it can only give you what you put in if someone emphasizes that they are telling the truth. You can be sure they are lying. Don't base your own self-worth on the opinions of others. If you don't like something about your life, you have to change it. It's not going to change for you when writing the story of your life. Don't let anyone else hold the pen. Don't do anything that you will have to lie about, later making others look bad. Doesn't make you look better. Prioritizing yourself is not selfish. Light travels faster than sound. That's why some people appear bright until you hear them speak. Sometimes you just need to relax and have faith that things will work out. Let go a little and just let life happen. Life is inherently risky. There is only one big risk you should avoid at all costs, and that is the risk of doing nothing. You, the only person who has to be with yourself 10-0 of the time. So start. Liking yourself and who you are overthinking ruins you. It ruins the situation twists things around, makes you worry about futile questions, and makes everything much worse than it actually is. Don't worry about what people say behind your back. They are other people who are always finding faults in your life. Instead of fixing the faults in their own life, sometimes painful things can teach us lessons that we didn't think we needed to know. Be happy on your own. Don't seek out someone else to validate your existence. Act like you have been there before. You must welcome change as a rule, but not as your ruler. Just because things could have been different doesn't mean they'd be better. Life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient. It's not the mistakes that define one's character, but the manner in which one responds to those mistakes. People will disappoint you, so never put all your trust in anyone. Hard work doesn't always guarantee success, but laziness almost certainly guarantees failure. You'll never be truly happy if you constantly seek validation from others. Anything that you start to take a relaxed attitude towards stops controlling you. The pursuit of perfection is futile aim for progress. Instead, your self-worth is non-negotiable. Never settle for anything or anyone that diminishes it. Be careful what you tolerate. You are teaching people how to treat you. You will never be 100% sure about a decision, but always make a decision, because it's better to go back and fix it than to never make it at all. Learn to say no without feeling guilty. It protects your time and priorities. Chasing happiness will lead you to misery until you realize that happiness is the way. Maybe you are not healing because you're trying to be who you were before that person doesn't exist anymore, because there's a new you trying to be born. Breathe life into that person. There will always be someone who can't see your worth. Don't let it be you. You learn nothing from life if you think you're right all the time. No one owes you anything. You have to work for what you want in life. There are things we don't want to happen, but have to accept things we don't want to happen, but have to accept things we don't want to know, but have to learn, and people we can't live without, but have to let go. What you want requires consistency and discipline. Your entire life can change in an instant. So, instead of passively taking what you have for granted, be grateful for it and do whatever you can with. Yet the worst kinds of enemies are those who pretend to be your friends. The actions of men are the best interpreters of their thoughts. Never decide what you can or cannot do based on your lowest points in life. Only put off until tomorrow what you are willing to die having left it undone. The harder your life becomes, the faster you will reach your goals. Excuses won't fix your problems. Take responsibility for your actions. Accept that you will make mistakes and learn from them instead of dwelling on them. Befriend those who expand your thinking, not just your circle. Avoid making decisions when you're angry, and avoid making promises when you're happy. You will never understand the damage you did to someone until the same thing is done to you. Be careful who you let in your life. People will come and drain them, shift out of you, then leave and blame everything on you. Maturity is when you have the power to destroy someone who did you wrong, but you just walk away and let life take care of them. You are the only person you can control. Be humble enough to know you can lose everything, but be confident enough to know you can get it all back. Remember that every time you try, you're making progress. Spend so much time on self-improvement. You have no time to criticize others. Smart people stop overthinking once they understand that the best decisions require more gut feeling than pure intellect. It all begins and ends in your mind. What you give power to has power over you. Work on mastering your mind. Excuses are always there and easy to make. Finding a way is what takes courage. Be smart enough to realize that life doesn't wait for you to be okay. Don't allow someone to treat you poorly just because you love them. Every time you lie, you are creating problems that you will have to deal with in the future. Do the right thing. Now, one who believes in himself has no need to to convince others. Learn to miss someone without wanting them back. If life wasn't hard, you would never grow. Sometimes you just have to accept that some people can only be in your heart, not in your life. The only way to feel better about yourself is to do things worth feeling good at, sacrificing long-term joy for short-term pleasure is the easiest recipe for regret. Don't be scared to set boundaries in your relationships. If they walk away, it means you're better off without them. Like life becomes easier when you learn to accept the apology. You never got the first step towards getting. Somewhere is to decide you're not gonna stay where you are. Slow success builds character fast. Success builds ego if you don't separate yourself from your distraction. Your distractions will separate you from your goals. By doing what everyone else does, you guarantee average results. Don't lose yourself by tolerating too much from the people you want to. Keep focus your attention on creating the life you want, instead of distracting yourself from your current life. When your motives are sincere, it's not you who loses anyone. Rather, it's others who lose you. When you know yourself, you stop fearing missing out on things that are not meant for you. The easiest way to destroy your self-confidence is to constantly break the promises you make to yourself. Stop cheating on your future with your past. You grow as much as the amount of truth you're willing to accept about yourself. Without running away, all failures are temporary. When peace, no single thing will solve all your problems. No goal, no achievement, no relationship, no one will ever fix. You show respect, even to people who don't deserve it, not as a reflection of their character, but as a reflection of yours. Whatever you do, winning isn't everything, but you always win if you're satisfied that you put in the best performance you could. You set your own standards. Find your why. Your why is the foundation of your goals and provides meaning to your actions. It's the deep also means taking an honest look at the role you play in your own suffering. Challenge yourself. It's the only path to growth. Ignoring red flags because you want to see the good in people will cost you later. Peace does not mean being in a place where there is no noise, trouble, or hard work. It means to be in the midst of those things and still be calm in your heart. Avoid people who use their pain as an excuse to hurt you. Don't let people know too much about you. Most people don't care, and so seizing opportunities, proving what you're capable of, and accomplishing your goals, despite challenges. When you find someone smarter than you, work with them. Don't get intimidated by them. Never expect to get what you give. Not everyone has a heart like you. Your mental state determines your experience of life. Prioritize your mental health like you would your physical health. Exercise your mind with new challenges and positive self-talk. Life is difficult because we don't appreciate the things you make the other person happy. One of the most dangerous things you can do is compare your life to somebody else's. It's not a race. It's your journey. Don't give up after the first failure. Failure is not the end. It's just a detour on the road to success. Just because you can't see the point behind it. Challenging time doesn't mean there isn't one. When you believe your mind finds a way to embrace the long game. Patience is the ultimate competitive advantage in the game of life. Are avoiding you. You must discipline yourself carefully. You must keep the promises you make to yourself and reward yourself so that you can trust and motivate yourself. Our lives are defined by opportunities, even the ones we miss. When you build in silence, no one knows where to attack. Pain only leaves you when it teaches you something. Some lessons have to be learned twice. Being cool, calm, and collected in AA. Stressful situation is extremely important. This doesn't mean you need to suppress your life as a way of working out even when it seems impossible. You should never sacrifice what you could be for what you are. You don't have to prove anything to anyone, including yourself. Luck comes to those who work hard. Good things do not come to those who wait. Don't make one person the center of all your happiness. Don't make them the reason why you are happy, because once that person walks away from your life, you're left with nothing. When you feel like giving up, remember why you held on, for showing us what. Isn't the way it's normal to feel bad after making it? The right decision, no matter how nice and friendly you are. Some people will dislike you, no matter what you do. Don't waste your time on them. Later often means never bad times are actually a boon, because they wake you up to the good things you never paid attention to. Never try to gain somebody's sympathy. The people who care about you will be there for you when you need them. You don't need to show them that you are their best friends. People will often take advantage of your kindness. If you let them, problems are rarely as bad as we think, or rather they are precisely as bad as we think. Your obsession with finding happiness is what prevents its attainment. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. If you are in your 20s, many relationships will fail and not work, but function as learning exercises because of this. Don't stress so much. It's all just practice until you're married. Your friends and family life is that there is no big secret. Whatever your goal, you can get there. If you're willing to work, if you do not make yourself indispensable, you will be unemployed soon. Never let yourself become completely dependent on anyone. Always be able to support yourself financially, mentally, and physically. A wise man can learn more from his enemies than a fool from him. His friends. We walk away from our dreams, afraid we may fail, or worse yet, afraid we may succeed. You can't expect everyone to be good to hear the good, not the bad. So if you have issues, it'll be hard to find people to confide in. Numbing the pain for a while will make it worse when you finally feel it. When a defining moment comes along, you can do one of two things: define the moment, or let the moment define you. Stay away from narcissists. They don't play by any rules. They will suck the life out of you slowly. You need to learn how to select your thoughts, just the same way you select your clothes every day. This is a power. You must determine where you are going in your life, because you cannot get there unless you move in that direction. Random wandering will not move you forward. It will instead disappoint and frustrate you and make you anxious and unhappy and hard to get along with. Dreams without goals are just dreams the second you feel like you're hanging on by a thread. Let go. You shouldn't be holding on to something that makes you feel that way, in the first place. The truth is, the bad things don't affect. You aren't happy with yourself. Be not afraid of life. Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. Holding grudges will never harm people. You hate only you. There is only one thing that makes a dream impossible to achieve: the fear of failure. You don't realize the true value of a moment until it becomes a memory. Emotion, which is suffering, ceases to be suffering as soon as we form a clear and precise picture of it. People's actions tell the truth about them. Not never comes, because it's always today.